D1 soccer is not the dream you think it is, and I know that's not what you want to hear, but over the past few years I've spoken to hundreds of players who turned down Division 2 offers, NAIA, JUCO, D3 offers, players who said I only want to play Division 1 college soccer, and most of them didn't play college soccer at all. And in this video I'm going to break down exactly why that happens, what D1 actually is, who it's for, and why the smartest players that we've worked with chose a different path and came out ahead. So if you ask most players at the youth level in the US, what do you want to do after high school, they'll say I want to play Division 1 college soccer. And that's great, I love that. Everyone should have Division 1 college soccer as the goal. It motivates players, it keeps them hungry, and it gives them something to work towards. But when you ask them why, it's usually to go pro, to be the best. Anything less feels like a failure. And the last one is the problem. Division 1 college soccer is the highest level of NCAA soccer. That is true, but it's not the only route, and for a lot of players, it's definitely not the right one. There are over 2,000 college soccer programs in the US. Division 1 is about 350 of them. That means there's about 1,600 programs that you are ignoring. And some of those programs will develop you a lot more than a bench spot will at a Division 1 school. So here's what Division 1 actually looks like for the average recruit. You get recruited, you're excited, you get a partial scholarship, maybe $5,000 to $10,000. You show up in August and you realize the roster has 30 players. You're competing for 11 spots. Half the squad played MLS or ECNL, and the rest are internationals and transfer players who are the coach's favorite. You spend your freshman year not playing. You're 18. You should be developing. You should be getting minutes, making mistakes, learning, being on the field, but instead you're just watching. Meanwhile, your friend who went D2, your friend who went to JUCO, D3, he's playing every game, every minute, developing, enjoying his life, making friends, building relationships, and being an impact player in the team. So development requires playing time, and playing time requires the right level. That's not me saying that D1 is bad. I played Division 1 college soccer and I had the best years of my life. I didn't go directly to Division 1, and a lot of players don't either. If you're a Division 1 level player, if Division 1 coaches are calling you, go to Division 1. That's your choice. That's amazing. But if you're not, sitting on the bench and chasing Division 1 isn't going to get you any better as a footballer, and it's also in your life personally going to make a lot of things more emotional and difficult for you in the long run. Being recruited to play college soccer, it's an emotional battle, it's difficult, you get a lot of no's, a lot of rejection, and it can build you up and you can learn a lot, and you can learn a lot about life and how to deal with people and be successful. But if you are consistently chasing the wrong level, you're going to struggle and you're going to say no to a lot of good opportunities for you that you're missing out on. So Division 1, the top level, what does it actually mean? Full athletic scholarships are available. Rosters are built from the best academy players, international players, and transfer players. It's very competitive for playing time. You have to be the best of the best. Division 2, strong football, strong athletic scholarships, and a more realistic pathway for a lot of international players. Division 2 coaches can't get the best American players because they go D1, so they have to go internationally to recruit players. And Division 3, there's no athletic scholarships. So this is a big part of American youth soccer recruiting, where players will show up and get recruited, because Division 3 schools struggle to recruit international players because it's expensive, as they can't offer athletic scholarships. Division schools have a lot of academic scholarships available, high academic standards, really competitive and good football, and players who want to have a good balance of education, studying, and competing. What about the NAIA? Completely separate from the NCAA, around 250 schools, good amount of athletic scholarships available, great for international players, less competitive for eligibility, and often overlooked and underrated by players in the US. And then we have JUCO. I am a massive fan of JUCO. Go to a JUCO. It's a great bridge if your academics aren't there yet, and a lot of junior college players transfer to Division 1 or Division 2 when they're ready, when they've competed, and when they've gotten a lot of development from being on the pitch. None of these is a failure, and all of them potentially could have the same destination. The question is, which door is actually open for you right now? So why do players keep making the wrong choice? Why does this keep happening? Why do players keep rejecting really good opportunities because they want to play Division 1? From my experience, the main thing is ego. Players think they're better than they are, and they don't fully understand the landscape of how this works. The amount of times I talk to a player and say, have you been to watch a Division 1 game live in person? And they say no. How are you going to tell the level if you've not been to watch a game live in person? How many Division 1 college soccer camps have you been to? Oh, I haven't been to any. They're a money grab. So how are you going to get in front of the Division 1 college coaches and see the level and see how they coach? A lot of players have a social pressure, and parents too, saying, I want my kid to go D1, I'm proud of him, that should be the goal. And I get it, you want your kid to be successful and you want him to play at the best level. That's amazing, but he doesn't have to go directly to Division 1. It could be a 3-4 year process. And you're worried about what your friends say if you're not going to go to Division 1. And I get it, I understand. You want to be the best out of all your friends. You're competitive, you play soccer, you want to win. But when August comes along and you're not playing and you're on the bench, and your friends at a D2, D3 school playing and getting a lot of accolades, I know who's going to have the bragging rights. And bad advice too. There's a lot of players who get really bad advice from their coaches or people around them saying, you should be at this level, you should be pushing this, you should be doing this. You should take advice from your family, from your close friends, and from your coach if you trust him. If these are people that have done what they are advising you, do not take advice from people that haven't done what you are trying to achieve. And the last one is what we try to fix. One of the first things we do at Select Generation is a level setting conversation. So trying to educate. I personally don't like telling players no, and I don't like demotivating players. I think to motivate players, you need to have belief, hope, and a clear pathway to get there. One of the best things that you can do is go on a college roster with a player, look at all of the places that they've come from, go on YouTube, search for their highlight video, and be like, okay, this is the level of the school you're trying to get to. This is how they recruit. This is what we need to get to. There's your proof. That's the level. And sometimes that conversation's hard, but at the end of the day, it comes down to educating the player and making sure that they understand what you're telling them and how to get to the end goal. And that conversation saves players a lot of time and a lot of hassle and a lot of emotional battle when trying to find a school and having the right fit. An honest conversation now is worth more than a bad decision later. So here's what the smartest players we've worked with actually do. They start with a realistic list. They don't just target Division 1 schools, and they go in knowing what they want. Once you figure out your why, it's very easy to make decisions and very easy to be intentional with the actions you're taking. Why do you actually want to play college soccer? Is it to show your friends online that you're playing at the best school? Is it to compete at a high level? Is it to get a really good education in academics? Is it to get a massive scholarship? Is it to go and party and make friends? Once you figure out your goal and your why, it's very easy to be like, okay, I'm going to reach out to this school because they have a really good engineering program. I'm going to reach out to this school because they have a football team with big tailgates and I want to go and have fun. I want to go to this school at the NAIA level because they've consistently sent guys to USL 1, USL Championship, and transferred guys to Division 1. Once you figure out your why, it's very easy to make decisions. A player who starts every game at the Division 2 or Division 3 level is much more of a professional prospect than a player that's on Division 1 school just sitting on the bench all season. And college soccer isn't really about going pro for most players. It's about getting an education, being competitive, building a network, and having an experience that shapes you as a person for the rest of your life. D2, D3, NAIA programs, they can all give you that. So stop ranking programs by the division they're in, rank them by what they'll give you. If you're in the process right now, don't let your ego make the decision for you. Talk to someone who's been honest with players in your position. Watch the roster of every program that you're considering and ask yourself, would I actually play here? And if I didn't play here, would I enjoy my time? The players who end up the furthest are the ones that made the smartest decisions earliest. They asked for help, they were proactive, and they were curious. Everything that you want to know about getting recruited to play college soccer is on Google. You just search, you're curious, you ask questions, and you get a good group of people around you who have done this and ask for advice and ask for help. And don't let your ego get in the way. If this helped, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. If there's any topics that you'd like us to discuss in detail, leave them in the comments below, and we'll get to it in the next few weeks.